Only 20 minutes to get my nose ring out. Hi guys, Stephanie here. Welcome back to my channel. If you read the title of my video, then you know, lucky me, I was diagnosed with the Rona. So I'm feeling much better today. So I thought, I'm still in quarantine, I'm stuck here for a few more days. What better thing to do to perk up my psyche and have a little bit of fun and feel like a human being again than to slap some makeup on my face, tell you guys a little bit about my experience, and maybe even let you in on some of my thoughts about recent purchases that I've made, like just follow up. If that sounds interesting to you, just stay tuned. Hi guys, Editing with Stephanie here. Really quickly before we get into the video, I was not feeling that badly when I made this video, but I have started to present with more coronavirus type symptoms, like the whole gastric thing, and now I really understand why the whole run on toilet paper. So I've been to my doctors and they said that it could take up to 14 days for the actual symptoms to present, which is probably why it took a little bit longer for me to actually get those god-awful symptoms, but here we are. Anyways, hopefully I'm on the mend. That's what I'm hoping, because this is getting really old. Basically, I just wanted to let you know, stay safe out there and just be careful. You don't want this, trust me. Anyway, let's get on to the video, shall we? Okay, so I'm gonna start off a little bit by color correcting because, as you can tell, my dark circles are a little prominent. So I don't usually color correct, but we're gonna do that today. So I went to work last Monday and I wasn't feeling horrible. I was just feeling like my sinuses were kind of messing with me and I had a little bit of a head cold tops, right? And I was at work for maybe an hour and it started progressively getting worse quickly. I started feeling like I had the chills and like I couldn't do anything that was motion or activity related for any time. Like just moving paperwork around started making me feel like I was tired. I think I was at work all of about 2 hours and I ended up going home. You know, just thinking, well, I'm probably getting an upper respiratory infection. I'll be all right. You know, everything will work out. It'll be fine. We've been following protocols at work, you know, which were basically if we were in any common areas, we were to wear a mask and use hand sanitizer and all that. And I'm a hand washer. Like if you look at the condition of my hands, that's with lotion on them, because I wash my hands about 80 times a day and I sanitize and it gets to the point where they're bleeding. So, you know, anytime we had to go into a common area, it was masks on, make sure you're washing your hands, that type of thing. We have everything in place that we could, but we're not required to wear masks in our office. So I don't wear a mask in my office and I shut my door because I just figure don't come in my office unless it's an emergency. And of course that doesn't always work out. Lucky me, because people just wander into my office. I have one of the smallest offices. So unfortunately it kind of comes with the territory. You can't be 6 feet away from me if you're in my doorway, which is why I was keeping my door closed. But that's neither here nor there. The next day when I was home, I was told, go get a coronavirus test because 2 other people in the office had it for sure, were tested positive, and there was another person who their spouse had it. So I was like, yay me. So I set up an appointment with the closest place for me to test, which was our local Rite Aid, because I wasn't going to drive an hour to my doctor's because it's an hour to my doctor's and I didn't feel well. So I set up a coronavirus test. I went and took it Tuesday morning at 10 and I got the results back like Friday morning at midnight, and contacted my office on Friday and let them know, hey, my test came back positive, my husband's going to get tested. And basically that was it. So I can't go back to work until Monday, unfortunately. I'm on very limited work hours from home because they don't want us to work while we're sick. So unfortunately, we only get 3 days of sick time. I use my vacation time up at Christmas, and it doesn't roll over after the first of the year. You accumulate it. So unfortunately, I'm only getting paid for 3 days plus a couple hours, you know, here and there for last week. And this week is going to be very, very, very slim. Which stinks, you know. If I didn't know when I was going to end up with the Rona, I probably would have saved my vacation time, but how would you know? You know, if you're taking all these precautions and you're wearing your mask, you limit your places that you go. I literally have not been anywhere of significance in the past several months because of this pandemic. So the only places that we were going were like essential item places, the grocery store, Walmart, if we needed our prescriptions refilled, Rite Aid, something like that. But we weren't going anywhere. And we were wearing masks and sanitizing and the whole 9 yards. So, you know, you take all the precautions, you think you're not going to get it. And of course, here you are. But it is what it is. You know, I was real sick for, I would say, 3-4 days. Like, didn't want to get up off the couch, kind of couldn't move thing. And then I started to feel better, but I'm going to use the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer. Just to interject, just a little side note about this. It looks nice, but you have to work with this fast. You can't like conceal, and then just tap it out. You have to like conceal, tap, and then conceal and tap quickly. Just FYI. Otherwise, it'll wrinkle up on you toot sweet and you'll be like, shit. I should have tapped that out right away. That's how you'll feel. So anyways, back to my story. I think the biggest issue that I had was more stress because I knew that I had come down with the virus than anything, if I'm being honest, because I have a pre-existing condition in the high blood pressure, but luckily I'm below what they consider high risk for like body mass index and age and all of that stuff. So those things, thank goodness, weren't factors. I was just more concerned about the fact that I have high blood pressure, and that is considered a high risk. You know, when you stress about something, it just kind of tends to make it a little bit worse. Anxiety can kind of wreak havoc with your blood pressure, obviously, but I kept monitoring mine, and of course I have medication, so that was okay. And of course I made an appointment, or I called my doctor on Friday, and they said to go and get this thing called a pulse oximeter. And now if you have been to the doctor, which I'm sure you probably have, and they check your vital statistics, it's the thing that you put your finger in that it tells you how much oxygen is going into your bloodstream. So my husband went and picked one of those up for me so that we could, you know, check that. And in the meantime, he had gone to get his coronavirus test and it hadn't come back yet. So, you know, of course we were waiting for that. And as luck would have it, he came back negative. Thank God. And I think this is so bizarre, by the way, and just a side note, my husband now has taken 2 coronavirus tests and both of them have come back negative. And he kind of questioned the doctor's office about it because he was like, how is it that my wife can be positive, you know, for this virus and I'm coming back negative? And they said, surprisingly, we see quite a bit of it. So I thought, that's so bizarre. You know, like, I thought it was weird, but it sounds like one of my coworkers whose husband had it has also not contracted it, which is great. You know, maybe they've built up some kind of immunity, which would be fantastic. I mean, if that's possible, that's awesome. But, yeah, he didn't get it. And my son's living with us still, but he stays to himself. I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't gotten it. Although maybe he does have it and it's just working differently in his system because he doesn't seem sick. I'm just happy that Scott didn't get it because that would have been really bad. But unfortunately, of course, being the conscientious people we are, he made sure to notify his work that I had come down with it and that I had tested positive because we wanted to make sure that if there was anyone that he worked with that could potentially come down with that, they knew. it's the right thing to do. So when his test came back negative the first time, they were like, well, we still want you to quarantine for the full 10 days now that your test has come back negative, and possibly retest. Because if you start showing symptoms, it'll show within that 10 days, then you can get retested, get a negative, and then, you know, you're good, whatever. So he's now out of work also for a full 10 days. Luckily, he's got vacation time, thank God, because we would really, really be having problems right now. And, you know, we're just blessed to have jobs, period. So it's been a struggle, and I foresee the few coming weeks to be quite the struggle because we'll be missing those paychecks, but at least we have jobs to come back to. And for those of you who watch my channel who are out of work, God bless you. I'm very sorry, and I know how blessed we are. I know how blessed me and my husband are to have jobs, so I'm sorry. I definitely don't take that for granted. I'm gonna use the NYX white base because I was thinking maybe I would do like a pink and purple thing, and I know you guys are probably gonna get sick of these palettes, but I really, really enjoy these palettes. They are really, this one in particular is exceptional. It's exceptional. It's a great palette. Very happy with that. But I wanna see how they work on this base, and I just opened it up. I haven't tried it yet, so we're gonna try it today. I'm gonna use my Sigma P84 brush that came with my On Nook kit. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on these as we go along. Wow, that is white. Holy crap, oh man. Okay, well, you know, I knew it was white, so I don't know what I was thinking. I probably should not have brought it all the way up to my eyebrow. It reminds me of white cream paint, like clown paint. Oh my God. Well, the colors better show up awesome on this because I'm gonna feel like a complete moron if they don't. And I'm not refilming this video because I'm already starting to feel a little fatigued. Clown, anyone? I'm gonna tap this out with my finger a little bit because it is very dramatic. I don't know if it'll help, but maybe it will. Sometimes you just have to feel what you're working with. I know, it seems weird, but it's true. I wonder if I use my sponge, if that will help. I don't know, man. I'm kind of bugging out about this base. So stupid, right? I knew it was white. Maybe I used too much. That's okay. That looks much better, I think. We're gonna find out. I'm actually gonna start off, I think, because I don't think I planned on it being this dramatic. I'm gonna go into my singles and just use some of this light pink Sephora eyeshadow that I've had for ever in 10 days. I can't get rid of it. It's just such a good, like, all over light pink base, so you can't even see it on that. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know how I feel about this base. I feel like it's bringing out every single wrinkle in my eyelids, but we're gonna keep trucking on. All right, so anyway, back to my story. So I made an appointment to go see the respiratory specialist at the hospital that my doctor's office is on that property. The medical arts building is on that property. And I went on Monday and I was seen by the respiratory specialist, and he basically said, you know, everything looks good. He's like, your blood pressure's good, your oxygen levels are good. He's like, you don't sound like you have pneumonia, but it does sound like you have a pretty severe sinus and upper respiratory infection. You're just gonna have to flush it out. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. I'll tell you, they don't spend any kind of time with you unless they find something that they honestly think is wrong with you and need to send you off for more testing or whatever. You're in and out of that place. Like, they don't want you in there any longer than they have to be around you. It's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but you know, I mean, I totally get it. I would be the same way. I wouldn't want to be around me either. So basically, I've just been kind of, you know, stuck at home, less talking, more makeup. So I'm using fuchsia right here. And I'm just gonna, oh God. I do not like this base. I'm telling you right now, this is not working for me. This is bad. I can't. This is gonna be on my face all day, and I was hoping to have a pretty look, and this base is pissing me off, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I just wiped everything off and went back in with my old trusty Wet n Wild concealer for my eyes, because I don't know, maybe it's because I'm getting older, and I'm sure that's probably a big part of it. If something's too creamy like that NYX base, it just settles into every single line, and it looks terrible on me, and I can't. I will maybe try it again much more sparingly in the future to see if it works better that way, but it didn't take long for me to figure out I wasn't a fan of that. We're gonna go back into this fuchsia color right here for my crease, and let's see if it works better this way. And I have some thoughts on the Sigma brushes too, so I'm gonna give you those. I'm using the E40 tapered blending brush for that fuchsia. I might be the tiniest bit spoiled having had natural hair brushes. And when I say that, none of my natural hair brushes are expensive brushes. They're like Morphe brushes, or those brushes that I bought off Amazon that I did a review for, and I'll link that, because I'll tell you, those Amazon natural hair brushes, I probably use those 99.999% of the time. They are cheap and good. They're not like the best quality as far as like the handle of the ferrule or anything, but natural hair brushes just seem to work so, I don't know why. They just work better for me. And the quality of these Sigma brushes is fantastic. I mean, they're well made, they're soft, they're nice brushes, but it takes me twice as long, possibly 3 times longer, to blend something out with these Sigma brushes than it does with my natural hair brushes. And I find that I have to dip into my product more frequently. I don't know, brushes are an investment. I made an investment, and I'm not exceptionally happy with it, which makes me sad. I'm gonna keep working with them because I purchased them. Maybe it's me. If I don't like them and continue to don't like them, I know some nieces who will love them, or my daughter. I will say, some of these brushes, I love the shape of. This brush is great. It's an E42, and I'm just gonna go into that fuchsia and kind of actually bring it up and re-blend it, because I want a little bit more. I just don't feel like I get the blend with these brushes. That's what it is, I mean, in a nutshell. You know what, I think I want to try this crimson red right here, just for shits and giggles, because I haven't tried it yet. I do also love the shape of this brush. This is the E25. Like, I like the shape of the brushes, and I think this is one of the better ones as far as blending. Ooh, this red is gonna stain. My husband bought me this amazing brush washer thing. It's one of those spinny ones that just spins your brushes out. I had seen like advertisements for it, but I was like, oh, I wonder how that thing really works. Oh my God, it is one of the best things I have ever tried in my whole life. It's so great. Hold on, I'm gonna go get the pink I just made the other night. Okay, I'm back. So I made this pink. It's kind of a pink with a bit of a blue purpley shift, and there's some of the higher micron interference pigments in there. And I'll just show you what it looks like. Whoa! I guess I could put it in my magnetic palette, right? I think I'm gonna use some of the Peachy Keen color that my son got me right here. I think I'm gonna try that in the center. Like a little false halo. Okay, and I'm gonna take some of the bubblegum color, Looksy bubblegum, and I'm just gonna put that on my inner corner. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera and do some liner and lashes, and I'll be right back. Oh, and eyebrows. Okay guys, so here's the finished look. I got wild hair up my butt and decided to throw some of this green from the original paint palette under my eye here, and I topped it with some of the light green. I just thought it would look pretty, and I liked the way it turned out. And then the lipstick that I used is the ColourPop Lippy Sticks in Little Tings. I figured it's kind of a basic bitch pink. Can't go wrong with that when you have pink on your face, right? So final thoughts. If you feel sick, if you feel like you're starting to get some type of respiratory thing, if you feel like you're having like some mental fogginess, your chest is congested, your energy is drained, anything like that, call your doctor. See if you think that, you know, you might need to get tested for coronavirus, especially if you're running a fever. Like, I did not have a fever the entire time. So I hear it's not that uncommon. Like, I was always told, oh, you have to be running a fever in order to be tested for coronavirus. I'm telling you that I was not running a fever the entire time. I did get chills and I got body aches and all of that stuff. But if your doctor is like, no, I'm not going to test you, we don't think it's coronavirus, go do the thing for Rite Aid or Walmart or whatever. Set up a time to just go get tested, because you never know. If my doctor would have said to me, no, we're not going to test you, because that happened to me last year. He said, we're not going to test you for coronavirus because we don't think that's what it is. Primarily because I wasn't running a fever, and it was really early on, so they weren't testing as much. So that being said, if you get a response like that and you just don't feel comfortable with it, go get tested somewhere else. There's plenty of places out there, Rite Aids, Walgreens, you know, CVS's, places that will test you for free of charge, that you'll know. And if you get that negative test, then you're golden. But if you are positive, you'll have that information so you can isolate yourself and stay away from people that could potentially really get sick from this. You don't know if the person that's next to you could potentially get that sick, and you really have to mind yourself. That being said, if you got to this point, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see probably not more like this, because I'm really hoping not to have to make any health related content for a very, very long time, but check out some of my other videos. And if you like those, hit the subscribe button, ring that little notification bell. It'll let you know when I'm uploading my next video. And here's hoping that you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.